Hi, Sophie. Great, great. So today I spoke in one of the workshop, not workshop actually, it's a get together kind of thing, sisterhood, and I spoke there. So it felt good after. It is the same group. They had this workshop in like 5 years back or so, and I had attended their physical workshop. That was time. COVID time. I remember I got from there at 5:30, but I reached home at 9. So it took 3.5 hours to reach home. No, why? That day. No, no, no. It is not today. It was 5 years back. So that is why I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the same group, they are still there. So I was wondering where that group has gone. Previously, I used to see them in Facebook, but nowadays I didn't recognize them to be the same group. And when they send me an email asking whether I would be interested to speak, I said yes. Any online workshop, any invite, I'm okay to speak. So, yeah. It was a sisterhood thing, like how it will. So that concept is like not in that format, but that is what I have been doing. So I connected that, and in that process also something else also clicked inside my mind. And then in the morning, I saw one video. I had interviewed one of my students who I coached. He transitioned, not transition. He changed his job profile from an operation to marketing, and he didn't know uh, what is to do out there. He was like almost 24 hours busy, but for 1 year he didn't get any promotion because he was not doing he something his organization also was not able to tell him. So that is when he came to me, and I helped him figure out. It was a small thing, it was not a big thing. To know, he needed to know as to what he should be doing. So uh, there was a mindset change also. He needed to say, like say, he thought like doing everything by himself was important. That is how his orientation was previously. So I said no, because you have got a team, then you need to take the help of the team also. You cannot be everywhere. If it's a small place, small team, and small area to cater to, then you going yourself makes sense. But when it is a big area, you cannot go everywhere. In that process, you will tire yourself, and then there will be no outcome also. So he he took that point, and then uh, today he is the country head. He was struggling to be the district head, but only that input made gave him so much of clarity that he almost is the country head. Now he might I haven't spoken, but in that interview he hinted at that. That was 2 years back. And yeah, yeah. So, but it didn't give me like some kind of illusion that I helped somebody. It today gave me that opening. Like I don't know what I was thinking about that. It is so very surprising. So you help somebody, and then yes, and I thought I don't know what I was thinking, and how I was interpreting everything. This is one example that like everything is there but not able to see, or not able to be grateful for. You know, so that came along with this speaking, like not connected, but somehow it clicked that way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How about your week? Did you go to that crown chakra something? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Huh. Yes. Yeah.
think that's part of it. But I'm watching the podcast because I either this is me venting, so keep your ears open. I've been watching a lot of podcasts because a lot of times it's hard for me to fall asleep. I have been going to sleep earlier, and I have noticed that I'm starting to remember my dreams. And I think last night I actually got up, went to the bathroom, came back, and went back into the same dream. I know that was my goal. I can't remember for sure if I did, but that was my goal. So I'm struggling with a little bit of everything. Every now and then, the thought you should go home comes into my head, but that's not the answer. You know, I can't just regroup because first of all, I would lose a lot of money in my plane fare, and I have the Spain trip. Plus, I don't even know, you know, I don't even have a place that I for sure decided to go to. So, so your friend is struggling over here.
Ah.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful day outside. So I did go out and I went and mailed a couple birthday cards. I mailed Nathan his birthday card. And I mailed, what else did I mail? A card to somebody in West Virginia whose daughter went into hospice care. And then I went to a little grocery and I bought some stuff. So part of me thinks this. Part of me thinks that the stuff that I watched on the podcast is changing my brain, like we're all being altered. Part of me believes that I'm like reintroducing my consciousness to this new body and this new mind. Part of me thinks that's what's going on. Part of me thinks I need to find more to do. Part of me thinks you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and this is another dark night of the soul that you just didn't expect. It's a little of everything. So I need some feedback from you because, because I mean, just, yeah, because I'm struggling. God damn it.
Yeah.
And I was not planning on this. Not at all. So that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah. They say transformation happens when during unease, like when you are not very comfortable, that is when transformation happens.
Well, I must be right in the thick of it because I'm telling you, I haven't felt this kind of okay 1 minute and not okay another minute. I haven't felt this for a long, long time. I can't even tell you under what circumstances I felt like this. It's certainly unexpected, and I've got 3 weeks in Spain ahead of me, and then I have July, August. I have 3 more months. I have 3 more months here, and when I was in the States, I initially thought, okay, I'll be writing and I'll be working on publishing a book, and I'll be doing this and I'll be doing that. And then, as I may have told you, when I was on the massage table and I was releasing stuff, I thought, no, just go and let everything unfold. Okay, so that's my last mindset. But I haven't had so much time in front of me to let things unfold in a long, long time. So without any kind of structure other than, I get up in the morning and then I take my vitamins and I shower and I get dressed and I plan for what I'm doing. But I have a lot of time. I have a lot more time than I expected. And I feel like I'm in my head too much.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to get out of my head because I'm Thursdays, I go to the art museum and I listen to the concert, and then that takes up the majority of the day. But yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
So if this is transformation again, I certainly could use some confirmation from you, and I don't know where to go with this.
So
the unfolding is painful.
it always is, because this is unseen, so you like we don't anticipate anything that is not experienced before. So when it comes, it is supposed to bring so much of emotion, especially when there is something inside. It will come out. So that is what is there right now. Uh, so much of pain, because when you were describing, also you are feeling kind of overwhelmed with some kind of grief. That is what I sensed. So that has to come out. That will come out. Uh, and also because you last told me, and I don't know whether I understood it that way. Like when there is this crown chakra thing happening, in your surrounding, like it must have or affected you, because you were emotionally connected to that. So you were there, whether or you could go there or not. It doesn't. It doesn't have any difference it will make if you were there in person or not, because you are emotionally connected to the event. So you will be affected by that. And if that is what crown chakra um, transformation is a real thing. That is what I know in theory. I don't know practically. I want my crown chakra to be transformed as well. In India, like I don't remember whether I have told you or not, there is this couple on Amma Bhagwan, they call him. So whenever I am in experimental mode, out of a very painful situation, that is when I remember them and give it to them. So that feels very easy to do. So these are living couple only that they are self-realized people. So and in whatever they teach, it is like everything is like what is supposed to be happening. So it is as per what is supposed to be happening. So there is nothing to expect, nothing to go beyond, nothing. Like wherever you are, it is okay. That is what basically they teach.
Yeah.
And if that is so, then the racing mind that we all have, that racing mind is not comfortable with that fact. Are we comfortable? Like the recent thing, you'll laugh at that. So I was in the morning meditation. Both of them are there, but I only see the lady. So one day, but I wanted both of them to be there in my imagination. But the other person, the man won't come to the. I told you about the paduka, no, the sandal, sandal story. Why did they? It might be a business thing. I was thinking, and in that moment, I realized that this is the reason. So, so then the next realization that happened to after that incident, that was the first incident when I realized why that sandal thing, like it is a sandal, one wears that sandal, only thing that this is made up of wood. In India, old times, old people were wearing that only when there was no leather kind of boot. So, and I didn't find any meaning why somebody would devise something like a sandal uh, to be part of all the processes that he does. Or like in India, people there are 90% of people are very ritualistic. You know, they go by rituals. Like if there is a ritual, they feel that something is accomplished. I am not one of them. So for people like us, he says there is nothing to expect, everything is fine. So so how much you take of that depends on how much like you have cultivated inside yourself, right? So so different people have taken that, and some people actually mixed the ritual with that, and they have taken their this thing interpretation of it. I don't have anything to say about that. Uh, it will happen according to their own belief system and their culture. That is what I know. But for me, it has happened like recently because of all this meditation and things that we have been doing. Like there is point number A, and immediately there is point number two. Just after point number A, point number two is there for a racing mind. For a paused mind, the point A is very far from point B. So you have slowed down between 2 points, which was supposed to be like immediate. It is not immediate. You have to travel a lot to reach to the point B. For example, did you get that?
I got it. Yes, I got it.
Yeah. So then
it makes sense. Makes sense.
So then what is happening here? It is like the mind has slowed down, right? So slow down means you give lot of pause for each of your question. Like point B, in between there are a lot of scenarios which we normally tend to jump to reach point B, which now happens what? You reach each point systematically, be there, experience it, and outgrow it, and then go to next point, next. And by the time you reach point B, there is no point B.
Okay.
Yeah. It,
Right.
yes. So, So that is my latest discovery, and today is the day of discovery because you said something. It has come, and it makes so much of sense. You know, it is only about the racing mind. So when you and how do you kind of take your vibration to that level, which is universe's vibration level. This is the only way. When you slow down, you vibrate at the same frequency, at the universe frequency, which is when the manifestation happens. It is always ready to happen, but we don't allow. What we are doing is jumping around point A, B, C, and all that. So there is no, what do you say? There is no space for that manifestation to happen. Now,
Yeah.
what is that manifestation that I want or you want? It is something, if you go deeper, it is again nothing. What is it? It is nothing. Like you have, suppose you want to I wanted to buy a house, or say I had to have a big house or big business or any something like that.
Yeah.
Now, why do you want that big anything? Because I thought that is where mm, my purpose will be, and the money will be, the recognition will be. That is what. But
Mhm.
if the ultimate purpose is the peace of mind and you living very calmly and in your own world, inner world, then you don't
Mhm.
have to travel all this way, take this uh, journey, this lengthy journey and reach there. While you already can be there, right? So now the big
Yep.
business and the big house and all the recognition and significance, all of these have lost their relevance. So they do not exist anymore.
Yep.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist for me right now, but slowly it is losing as I slow down, losing relevance. So recently, we were discussing about how to reach what I want. Like that is what we start with. What do what do
Yep.
you want? So then this has been a long experience for me. When I start writing, what do I want? It is never beyond 20 things. And those 20 things um, feel like those are not the things, or I don't want those things because this is again body, lot of like it is like buying 20 things for your house, which you won't use ever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is the use buying them? So that
Yeah.
has been my thing. So the, I discovered this long back that I don't want more than two, three things. And these two, three things are not small. These are big. So in order to have those big things, I need to cover, say, maybe 1,000 things in place of 20 things. 20 personal material things, there may be a millions of non-personal abstract things which I want. Now,
Mhm.
how do you list all those things? There is no way one can list those because those are abstract, and it can
Yeah.
be discovered by taking up that journey.
Yeah.
And once you reach there, Stage number one, that is gone. There is no that thing. Then the second there is no that thing. So eventually you do the entire circle and you find nothing of interest, right?
Right.
And but you will have your mind calm down by then. What if it is calm down right now? So, so I said, the place where this house that I have bought, I feel lot of peace out here. Like suppose there is there is some there is a way without me going to office. If I would have, I can earn something. If I find some way to earn doing what I love to do, then
Mhm.
I won't need anything. I won't do anything at all.
Yeah.
There is nothing, no dream, no vision, no nothing. So that vision that I have kept for myself is nothing. Do you get
I
what?
can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate to everything that you're saying. Um, I was doing the beginning of last week. I was doing these meditations with Joe Dispenza, right, in the morning,
Yeah.
and he takes you to a place of no thing. You are no thing. You are nobody. And so I did probably a week of those, and then his voice started to bother me, and so I thought I need something else, and so then I found a gratitude meditation was very that was that was helpful. And in the one with Joe Dispenza, he has you go to three things that you want, right? Or three things that are important to you. And always my sons are always the first thing that are Nathan and us and always show up as the first thing. And then my friends. And then, I was thinking about painting in Japan because that's still important to me. And then I think of this house, this Villa Joy house from years ago that I put on paper. And it popped into my head again. And then I got to the place where you were talking about where I said, what if, you know, that could well take a lot of manifestation. And what if that's not for my highest good, right? What if that's really not for my highest good? What if it's just my ego unable to let go of that? And so I spent the last couple, not this morning, but the last couple days looking at exactly what you're talking about, and coming to the conclusion that I don't know when it comes to where I want to live. I don't know where. I don't know. I'm uncertain because I gave everything away, but at the same time, then my head goes, Sophie, you know that you're always taken care of. That's been your mantra forever. Things always work out for you, right? So I went full circle where you are talking about, like, okay, if I'm in a really good manifestation place, I can create that Villa Joy. But the thing about it is, I just see me in the house. There's nobody else in the house but me. The kids, Nathan and Austin come in. They're in the backyard, like as they're visiting, but the house is empty. I mean, that doesn't feel so odd. So there's part of me going, okay, let's regroup on this. But I understand exactly what you're talking about. But and part of what is below all of this is the up and down, the up and downs where I feel one way one minute and one way the next remind me, they take me back to when I was on medication and I was in a really bad place. And that's scary. That's a very scary place for me to be. I spent 30 years going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to, get off of this medication, and then I finally did. So when anything in this reality reminds me of that time, it's scary because it was a bad time. It was a bad time for me, and I worked really hard.
So do you have a beach?
Worked really hard.
Do you have a beach in front of where you live? You are living on the beach, by the beach?
I'm not close. I have to take a bus. That's why I found I really need to be by water. That's why I figured that Wednesday, the trip along the coastal villages and by the water will help. The beach here, I have to take a bus. It's not that far, but it's far enough that if I walk there, I'd probably be too tired to walk back. And it's starting to warm up. I noticed the weather report this week. The temperatures are finally getting warm enough to go to the beach, because I've been waiting for it to get warmer. Because if I go to the beach, I'll probably, bring my drawing stuff or my painting stuff. I don't want to have to get there and then find out it's too chilly, to stay, and then I have to turn around and come back right away. So, honestly, I have been analyzing everything that I used to do in my life that made me feel good, and I really, really miss sitting by the river in my car. I was hoping that when I found this hotel and the church that the water would be closer, but it isn't, and I had to prioritize what was the most important. So I'm sure that you're picking up that I need to be by the water, and I do. Yeah, because and I thought about this morning. Everything around me is granite, is rock. Everything around me is rock. The building that I'm in is the city street. It's all granite and very dense. And even the seagulls. I looked up the seagulls as a totem, and they match me, but they come and go. They sit outside my window and remind me about the sea, and then they can take off and go anytime they want, and I'm stuck here. So anyway, that's what's going on.
How much time does it take by bus?
Not long, probably 10 minutes, not long.
Okay. So
yeah.
What are the logistic things that you need to arrange before you can go to the sea? Like you sit there and come back in the evening, or might be late evening, whatever.
Yeah. It won't take very much. The bus that I catch is not far. It's like a less than a 5-minute walk. Less than a 5-minute walk to get to the bus stop.
Yeah. So you can do that, and you can do that alternate day. Because one day you go sit by the sea, you paint or whatever, or like just watch the water. And that will be very tiring for you if you spend, say, 6 to 7 hours out there. So the next day you sleep the entire day, and the next day again you start that. That's if you make that as a cycle. After some time, this stage you will overcome, and you will get to the next stage, because I'm very sure that this is a transformation you are experiencing, and like lot is waiting to be undiscovered for you. So you need to overcome this stage to get to that stage. So if water helps, then do this. The other day, I we two people in this group wake up at 5, and we do some. I told you, this other person, he knows so many songs, so many mantras, and I don't know how he remembers all that. He does.
Yeah.
And and at the end of all the whatever we have kept for ourselves, we also have, say, 10, 15 minutes of chatting also, like what is happening in life.
Okay.
So he is a kind of very, very uh, he has a lot of ideas, but can't take any action. Like when action comes, he's a zero, complete zero. So he has given lot of reasons to why he's like that. And he always goes to his childhood or early college days to explain why he's like that. And then recently he has started saying that I am afraid of success. That is why I keep giving excuses like this. So I said, then do what you like. Like, if this is not like all of the suggestions that I am making or somebody else is making, if that is not what you like, what attracts you or appeals you, leave this and do what you like. So,
Yep.
um, I don't know. I have to wait for some more days to see how he is reacting. He always comes like he takes rounds and rounds, like he is bothered about why children are not obeying their parents these days. He is disturbed about why children are not following rituals these days, and why parents are not able to inspire their children these days. All those things. So I told him, you can observe, you can make your own assessment, but my assessment is, in our generation we have lot of integrity issues. We think that we follow something, we don't follow in action. So these cracks are visible to the next generation, which is why they are not able to respect us. And for us, we have made that as a part of life. And unless we get some kind of shock treatment, we don't even wake up to those realities. So, so the children are giving us that shock treatment to again reevaluate ourselves. And so you can't blame the other person, the children. It is in our generation. So if you go to some parents saying that you are having some integrity, so that fellow will just thrash you. So what you can do is like start where there will be some outcome. Uh, and I know he can, whoever he starts applying it, that person will get a lot. But he can't do that, you know. like it even if it is like talking to somebody. He has a very good network, but when it comes to like applying this, I kind of get irritated with him, saying that why don't you just take little steps, or just get out of your house and talk to the neighbor. There is a troubled teenager out there. Why don't you just fix that? Always he will talk about, no, I'll start this at some place he will name, that is 300 kilometers from his house. So I said, you are always postponing to some other place. The problem is here, and you can find your audience out here next door. So you fix that so that you will have a lot of confidence. And then you go 300 kilometers, 500 kilometers, nobody is stopping you. So his brother, his twin brother, who is elder to him, is saying, you were hopeless. So just so you do something. Always this is happening round and round. He is not able to come out of this. So he has two teachers, gurus, and he says in this group he is not getting what he is getting from his gurus. So but there is something that you are getting, which is why you are in this group. So so you have to prioritize, like how much time you will give here, how much time you will give to him. Uh, Two gurus, like how much to each, and what way. Again, he is bothered about earning something because he is retired, and he doesn't have a lot of money. Whatever money he gets, he kind of spends in thousand things. So his wife is also upset. His daughter is here nearby around Delhi, but she doesn't speak to him, and doesn't come home, do- mm, doesn't tell her address for the parents to come. So problem is there at his place. No? So before going to other places, so we all those things are there. So as in that group, so somebody else, another girl is there. She asked me, how do you wake up at 5 every day? One day, two, not today, for 6 months, more than 6 months now, you have been waking up at 5. And how do you also do the movements that you do, like the exercises, the work? Can you inspire me how to take that work? So I told her, take a round of your house today, like all the rooms. Like go around all your rooms. How many rooms you have? Two, three, whatever. Take a round. Next day you will take 2 rounds of that house, your own house. A third day you will take 3 rounds of that house. Fourth day again you will take 1 round, and then again 2 rounds and 3 rounds. That way you you will make that habit. Yeah. So
I think that's a good idea.
yeah. So
So basically what you were saying to your friend in the morning is that he's looking at the big picture, and he could just work with his own daughter right there and not worry about big stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just something. I just wish it would happen.
Yes. Of course, of course.
I do feel, I do feel like there's a lot ahead of addition to one thing. Yesterday, I went to the Maritime Museum. So that was right by the water. And I could see all the ships outside, the ones that came in. One had a big light painted across the side of it. It was way cool. So I could see the harbor, and the museum was bigger than I thought. I started at the top, and I only got the top 2 floors because I was tired. And it was a lot of walking, and the top 2 floors were all about early development of the harbor here, and then about the oil and the gas industry. And they had lots of video. So I read everything, and I was tired by the time I was halfway through. So I left and went and got something to eat, and it was a really, really nice day. And then when I got home, I thought I need to keep doing this, and that's when I booked the trip to the coastal villages. And on the way back, it's an 8-hour trip in a van. And on the way back, the little village called Cruden Bay is the first place I thought I wanted to go. And in fact, we are going to be going through this little place called Cruden Bay. So, that's a nice synchronicity. So, yeah, I'll just have to be in the discomfort of this, and trust that, I'm coming out on the other side of it, because, otherwise my racing mind is tragically creating, going back to stuff that isn't true, and I don't need to be making all that old stuff be true. That doesn't forward the action for me.
This exercise that I told you, this will be very helpful. Although in the beginning, for you, it will be very easy. For all the people, it has been very difficult. Like you start and then you ask yourself these questions. What do I want? So then when you ask that, there will be something obvious, something not so obvious, which you might escape. Don't escape, face it. What do you want? And especially that the scary thing that you have been discussing, allow yourself to experience it another time, and it will go this time. Because always you have been escaping. Now if you face, it will go. So the idea of facing it is very scary. But it is from a distance, because right now you are not there. So it is very scary. But when it is in front, you are in the midst of it, it is nothing, it will go. So, but don't rush to that. It has to be step by step. So you experience the fear, the disturbance that you feel all those. So by the time you are there is not a big pain, like whatever pain you have experienced on the way, the pain there is nothing compared to all this. So the first pain that you experience, because it is always have been that way. So that may appear to be huge. And so allow your mind to stop there. Don't allow it to go till it deals with it, the entire thing.
Okay.
And you know what is that journey like, from here to that pain. And if it is right now 10 steps, make it 100 steps, so that you can delay reaching out there, because it is very essential to finish that scare within yourself
Yeah.
and get beyond. Because if you are at that place, like with where you are just 10 minutes away from the beach, you are very close to calmness, very close to peace, very close to bliss as well. Very close, very,
Yes.
very close. But just because this is the distance, there is no physical distance normally. 10 minutes is nothing by bus. So
Right.
there is no physical there is an emotional distance. So uh, that has to
Yeah.
be covered, you know.
Yeah.
And these four questions that we practice every day under all situations. Like, what do you want? And when you are like going very superficial, then ask yourself, what do I really want? And then you will see
Mhm.
something coming up. And then you see what is the wish fulfilled. Like, if your wish is coming to pass, like what it will be. Like, the more you know that, the more you feel from the heart, the more closer it will be for you. So now it is what? Not any scare or something like that, but it is something very pleasant. So you are going closer to that pleasantness. And then what is
Yeah.
beyond? Like, you have your wish fulfilled, all feeling inside, and then you ask yourself what is beyond. Means with all that abundance, you still have somewhere to go. And when you reach there, ask yourself again this question, what do you want?
Okay.
And
Okay.
what do you really want? Your mind is traveling at that, it is racing and it is taking you nowhere. But if you allow it to pause, it will take you lot of places, discovered and yet to be discovered places. And it will surprise you like anything, just like the thing. It is obvious to you, you know it every day. Like this fellow has become a country head. I knew it always, but it occurred to me today. What do you say about it? Like, it sometimes it is such that everything that you are telling yourself, and at some point of time, the beauty of it is your mind will take off to a place where you are, like the bliss thing, no? But we can't define bliss. What is bliss for you?
Yeah.
But it will take you there because it is now trained. Like, it is like learning a bicycle. Like, you were,
Okay.
yeah,
I will do it.
yes, yes.
I will continue. Yeah. I will continue. When I first, can't remember if I was on the plane. I was someplace where I was looking at all kinds of um, beliefs that weren't that I didn't need to believe anymore. And I put them all on paper and let them go. A lot of and let a lot of them go. And I thought, I didn't know how much more there was to deal with. Now I'm learning how. Now I'm learning how much more there is to deal with. Chances are that there's always something.
Yes, yes. We are thousands of layers inside our mind.
Yeah,
One layer
yeah,
gets off, there is another layer to handle. and their layers. Uh, that is what, no, at each point, once you overcome something, there is a sense of like win and letting, like you are not affected of it anymore. Then comes another layer which now you are affected with. Then you have to also let go of that. And some at some stage you will be not affected by any of it. So you will be happy with most of the things wherever you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, my dear.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna get going because I need to call my friend Barbara.
Yeah.
She and I keep playing phone tag in West Virginia. I told her I thought you and I would be done by 5. Are you still good? Is 3 o'clock my time still good for you, your time? Or do we need to shift that?
3 o'clock is what time? My time is 9 or what?
No, 9. Is that the time that works for you? 9 o'clock?
Yes, around 9 we finish this, and this is not regular. It is not always happening. Sometimes it doesn't happen. So
Right.
so that is why I'm not sure. But 8:30 to 9 my time is fine.
Somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're still at the same place. I just needed to check. All right.
Yes.
Because sometimes on Monday mornings, I'm thinking all I have to do, and then I remember, oh, I'm talking to you, and so sometimes I have set the alarm, sometimes I don't set the alarm. So that's the only reason I'm asking, so I can make sure that I allow the time.
Yeah. So if your message is not coming, then I'll give you a call. No problem.
Right.
Sometimes I forgot, sometimes you forgot. That is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So today I was actually
help.
waiting for your message, and then the second time when I checked, I got your message.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for your help and for your support.
Yeah.
And I will go forward into this transition.
Yeah. So be there for some time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yes, compliment. MS में गेंदबाजी करी से गेंदबाजी कंटिन्यू करते हुए गेंदबाज सामने स्ट्राइक पर मौजूद इस समय खिलाड़ी मुकेश चौधरी फिर भी ये गेंद दौड़ रही है अभी भी 3 गेंदें बाकी है जिसका सामना करते नजर आएंगे बल्लेबाज आप कहेंगे कि अभी भी औपचारिक का भाग ये लंबा गेंद चलेगा समय लगेगा इस गेंद में लेकिन हाँ आज कहीं ना कहीं चेन्नई की टीम को एक अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस दिखाना पड़ेगा इस मैच में आज कहीं ना कहीं चेन्नई को जी जान लगानी पड़ेगी इस मुकाबले में चौधरी ने बाउंसर ये गेंद पे कट करने की कोशिश में बल्ले पर गेंद आ नहीं पाई और गेंद सीधा ही गुजरती हुई विकेट कीपर के दस्तानों में एक बार फिर से रन बनाने का खिलाड़ियों के बीच में कोई मौका नहीं। सोमन अब अगली गेंद का सामना करेंगे। स्ट्राइक पर मौजूद खिलाड़ी लगातार खेलने खेलने का प्रयास करते हुए खिलाड़ी, लेकिन गेंदें उस तरीके से आ नहीं पा रही है। हुए लगातार खिलाड़ी सोमन अब अगली गेंद लेकर चलेंगे। गेंदबाजी करी से गेंदबाज एक खिलाड़ी बैकवर्ड पॉइंट पर, एक खिलाड़ी बैक पर, एक और गेंद के साथ इस गेंद को भी सीधे बल्ले के साथ खेला। फिर से फील्डर मौजूद, सिंगल चुराने का प्रयास लेकिन फिर से रुके और सिंगल जो कि मिल जाएगा इस गेंद पर। बने रहेंगे खिलाड़ी, सामना करेंगे इस ओवर की अगली गेंद का। राउंड द विकेट से गेंदबाजी करते हुए गेंदबाज सामना करने के लिए स्ट्राइक पर अभी भी मौजूद है खिलाड़ी। एक खिलाड़ी पॉइंट पर, एक खिलाड़ी बैकवर्ड पॉइंट पर और एक खिलाड़ी जो डीप स्क्वायर लेग की बाउंड्री पर आगे गेंद के साथ चलते हुए चौधरी। सामने अभिषेक शर्मा। 20 पर एक विकेट के नुकसान पर सन्ना हैदराबाद का स्कोर इस मुकाबले में। आगे गेंद लेकर चलेंगे गेंदबाजी करी से गेंदबाज सामना करते नजर आएंगे। बल्लेबाजी इस ओवर की आगे गेंद का राउंड द विकेट से गेंदबाजी करते हुए गेंदबाजी इस ओवर की आखिरी गेंद के साथ मुकेश चौधरी चले। यह गेंद फ्लाइट से गेंद थी। इस गेंद को सीधे बल्ले के साथ फिर से खेला बल्लेबाज ने, लेकिन फिर से केवल एक रन मिलेगा और सिंगल के साथ ही 5 ओवर की समाप्ति। 5 ओवर की समाप्ति के बाद हैदराबाद 38 पर जा चुकी, एक विकेट के नुकसान। आईपीएल में अब जहां आप कहेंगे कि आईपीएल धीरे धीरे समाप्ति की तरफ बढ़ रहा है पूरी तरीके से, इस आईपीएल में आप कह सकते हैं कि अब उतने मुकाबले बचे नहीं है यहाँ पर। कि अगर जिगर हम आने वाले मैचेस की करें तो ये मुकाबला जहां आप कहेंगे कि 63वां मुकाबला है, पुलिस आईपीएल में आप कहेंगे कि 74 मुकाबले होते हैं, तो 10 और मुकाबले आने वाले 10 और मुकाबले बचे। अगर प्लेऑफ फाइनल के मुकाबले जहां आप कहेंगे कि 4 बाद के मुकाबले होते हैं, प्लेऑफ के होते हैं, वहां पर फाइनल के मुकाबले होते हैं, तो 6 मुकाबले तो नॉर्मल मैच बचे हैं और उसके बाद प्लेऑफ की सूची शुरू हो जाएगी। कि आईपीएल लाइक अब पूरी तरीके से आखिरी के लम्हों तक लगातार बढ़ता जा रहा है। यहाँ पर गेंदबाजी क्रीज से गेंदबाजी करते हुए गेंदबाज सामने क्रीज पर मौजूद इस समय खिलाड़ी बैकवर्ड पॉइंट, शॉर्ट थर्डमैन, शॉर्ट फाइन लेग, लंबी रन के साथ चले। गेंदबाज किए गए इस बार ऑफ स्टंप से बाहर, लेकिन मुझे लगता है अंपायर ने हाथ खोले इस गेंद पर, जो कि ऑफ स्टंप से बाहर जरूर थी, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि इस गेंद पर हाथ खोले और नहीं अंपायर नहीं दी गई है गेंद, दौड़ नहीं रहने वाली है। सामना करेंगे सोमन की गेंद का खिलाड़ी अब क्रीज पर मौजूद इस समय बल्लेबाज स्टंप से गेंदबाजी करते हुए लगातार गेंदबाजी क्रीज से गेंदबाज पर अभिषेक शर्मा। 13 गेंदें 17 रन। अभिषेक शर्मा उत्तर बल्लेबाजी कर रहे हैं इस मैच में। दूसरी गेंद के साथ अंशुल कांबोज चले। एक और अंशुल कांबोज की फ्लाइटेड गेंद टॉप किया, इस गेंद को बाउंड्री किनारे फील्डर मौजूद, फिर से गेंद को फील्ड कर दिया। एक बार फिर से आप कहेंगे कि एक रन बनाने का सिंगल आके पूरा करते हुए इस गेंद पर खिलाड़ी सिंगल के साथ फिर से मुकाबले का स्कोर आगे बढ़ता हुआ आप सामना करेंगे सोमन की गेंद का खिलाड़ी। राउंड द विकेट से लगातार गेंदबाजी करते हुए गेंदबाज एक पॉइंट की बाउंड्री पर फील्डर, एक दरम्यान की बाउंड्री पर फील्डर। प्लेऑफ के मुकाबले जहां पर यकीनन निगाह बनी रहेगी कि प्लेऑफ में कौन सी टीमें क्वालिफाई करेगी। यहाँ पर जब तीसरी गेंद लेकर चलते हुए सामने मौजूद इस समय खिलाड़ी 12 गेंदों में 14 रन लगाकर करते हुए बल्लेबाज की दूसरी गेंद के साथ कट किया गेंद को फील्डर के हाथों में। एक बार फिर से आप कहेंगे कि रन बनाने का कोई मौका नहीं। एक और शॉट, अभी भी यहाँ से 3 गेंदें बाकी है। यहाँ पर ओवर की देखा जाए तो 3 गेंदें बाकी है। यहाँ पर अंशुल कांबोज अच्छी गेंदबाजी कर रहे हैं इस सीजन में। लेकर चलेंगे गेंदबाजी करी से गेंदबाज इस ओवर की चौथी गेंद सामना करने के लिए स्ट्राइक पर मौजूद किसान किसान
The outside, you look completely at rest, but inside, it feels like you are sprinting to catch a train that is already pulling out of the station.
Oh, yeah, that feeling.
I want you to picture a scenario that might feel, well, a little too familiar. You are sitting perfectly still. Maybe you're on your couch after a really long day. Inside, it feels like you are sprinting to catch a train that is already pulling out of the station.
Oh, yeah, that feeling.
Your heart is humming, your mind is racing, and there is this exhausting, unshakable feeling that you urgently need to be doing something else. You know, you should be sending an email, or you should be folding the laundry, or, I don't know, optimizing your life somehow.
It is a profound, almost universal modern condition. I mean, we have somehow confused the speed of our thoughts with the value of our time.
We really have. Well, welcome to today's deep dive. If you know exactly what that phantom internal sprint feels like, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we are pulling from a really fascinating set of excerpts from a guide called The Stillness Within, a guide to quieting inner urgency. Our mission here is twofold. First, we are going to unpack exactly where this invisible pressure comes from.
Right.
And second, we are going to walk you through two highly specific practices from the text. There's one mental and one physical, and they are designed to systematically shut down that inner noise.
What's really fascinating here is that the text completely redefines what it means to rush. Usually when we talk about rushing, we think about our schedules.
Right, like running late for a meeting.
Exactly. We picture someone weaving through traffic or trying to cram like 5 errands into a 1-hour lunch break. But the guide shifts the paradigm entirely. It suggests that the most exhausting kind of rushing has absolutely nothing to do with physical speed.
Oh, wow. So it's not about the packed calendars.
Not at all. It is entirely about an internal emotional state.
Okay, let's unpack this, because before we can even attempt to fix this feeling of rushing, we have to understand the mechanics of it. The rushing isn't happening on your calendar. It is happening in your mind.
It's all internal.
Yeah.
Ugh.
While I was reading through the source material, the best analogy I could think of is that it's like leaving a car in neutral and then dropping a cinder block on the gas pedal.
Oh, that is such a good way to put it.
Right, like the vehicle itself is parked, it isn't moving an inch, but the
Yeah.
engine is just redlining, burning through fuel, creating all this heat and noise, and, creating absolute zero forward momentum.
Yeah, and the wear and tear on the engine is still happening, even though the car isn't going anywhere. That visualization captures exactly what the text calls non-physical rushing.
Non-physical rushing.
Right. It's a state of being where the body is stationary, but the nervous system is reacting as if it's under constant threat of falling behind.
The text actually defines this internal urgency with some incredibly sharp descriptors. It doesn't just call it stress, it calls it emotional urgency, mental pressure, the fear of missing life. And this one phrase really stood out to me, the fear of becoming less.
That particular phrasing, the fear of becoming less, that really gets to the psychological root of the issue. It suggests that our constant internal motion is deeply tied to our sense of value.
Like we're measuring our worth by our RPMs.
Exactly. The underlying belief is that if we stop moving, we somehow shrink. We lose our edge, we lose our relevance, or, we lose our worth entirely. The text actually argues that we use momentum as a substitute for meaning.
Which naturally brings up a pretty crucial question for you, the listener. If you are sitting on your couch on a Tuesday night and you aren't physically running anywhere, what exactly are you running from?
And the guide offers a very sobering answer to that in its final insight section.
What does it say?
It states clearly that many people are not running toward a specific goal or destination. They're running away from what silence might reveal.
Oh man, that hits hard.
It does. Because when the mental noise stops, the underlying realities of our lives get very, very loud.
Things we've been, expertly ignoring by staying busy, like realizing you are deeply unfulfilled in your career or that a relationship is failing.
Yeah,
or even just sitting with the grief of passing time.
right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the rushing is actually a symptom. It's a very sophisticated coping mechanism.
A coping mechanism for what exactly?
Well, a text explains that this internal speed is often about unresolved emotions and identity insecurity. The urgency is just a mask we wear so we don't have to face the exhaustion, the longing, or, the lack of purpose that might be sitting right there under the surface.
So the busyness is just a distraction.
Totally. If you are always urgently needed somewhere, even if it's just in your own head planning tomorrow's grocery list, you never have to ask yourself if you actually like the life you are living.
That is incredibly heavy. But, I mean, it makes so much sense of the modern condition. Think about the instinct to check your work email at 11 p.m.
Oh, everyone does that.
Right, there is no real emergency. But the act of checking it gives you a hit of urgency that distracts you from whatever quiet thought was trying to surface in the dark.
It's an artificial crisis to avoid a real reckoning.
So if we accept the premise that this urgency is a mask for deeper fears, how do we safely confront what that silence reveals? Without just going into an absolute panic, I mean.
Because it can be terrifying.
Yeah, because telling someone to drop the shield when they feel vulnerable sounds like terrible advice.
It does sound intimidating, which is why the text doesn't just leave us with a psychological theory. It provides structured, contained practices to safely lower that shield. You don't just drop it all at once. You methodically dismantle it.
Let's get into the first practice then. It's called the What is Rushing Inside Me reflection journal. It's essentially a guided mental excavation.
It's very structured.
The guide structures this very carefully, yeah. Step 1 is to sit in stillness for just 3 minutes. You don't try to fix anything. You don't distract yourself.
You just sit there.
Right. You just sit and gently ask yourself, what is rushing inside me? You just notice the thoughts, the impatience, the physical tension. Then step 2 is to journal without editing for 10 to 15 minutes.
And the instructions for that journaling phase are explicitly clear. It says, do not try to sound wise.
I love that.
It's such a critical instruction because our ego wants to perform, even in a private journal. It wants to write something profound. The text strips that away and gives you permission to be messy, petty, and just honest.
But I have to push back on this on behalf of the listener for a second. Asking a highly anxious, internally rushed person to just sit perfectly still and ask themselves, what am I afraid will happen if I slow down? I mean, that sounds like locking someone in a cage with a tiger.
It definitely feels counterintuitive.
Right. If my mind is already redlining, won't staring at the anxiety just make it worse? Is the goal here to wallow in these stressful feelings?
The text anticipates that exact resistance. The key is in the instruction you mentioned earlier. Do not fix anything.
Oh, right. So no problem solving.
Exactly. The goal is not to solve your life's problems in a 3-minute sitting. The goal is simply observation. You cannot quiet a noise if you refuse to look at what is making the sound.
That makes sense.
When you sit with the anxiety without trying to suppress it or solve it, you often realize it's just a feeling, not a fact. And to keep you from spiraling into that tiger cage, the guide breaks the reflection down into very specific categories of questions.
Okay, so instead of walking through every single prompt, let's look at the ones that really expose the mechanisms of this rushing. Under the category of emotional pressure, the text asks, what silently exhausts me?
That specific question is a revelation. I mean, we usually think of exhaustion in terms of output, how many hours we worked, how many miles we ran.
Physical drain.
Right. But the text forces us to look at the emotional weight of how we are doing the work. The silent exhaustion is the energy spent pretending to be okay, the energy spent worrying about how your email sounded or anticipating criticism. It's the invisible friction in the engine.
The friction that comes from the fear of becoming less, which ties directly into the identity questions category. The text hits you with this prompt, do I believe my worth depends on productivity?
And when people honestly answer that question without trying to sound wise, the answer is almost universally yes. We have internalized the idea that an empty calendar means an empty person.
The text culminates this mental excavation with a closing reflection using sentence starters. The main one is, if I truly slow down, I might discover.
which is a brilliant way to end it.
Yeah, it shows that the ultimate goal of all this uncomfortable journaling isn't to make you feel guilty for being busy. The goal is to unearth the true self that is hiding underneath all that performance. You are digging through the frantic, busy work to find the person who is just waiting for you to pause.
It's a process of reacquainting yourself with your own baseline before the world told you to hurry up.
I love the theory behind excavating the true self, but practically speaking, journaling is an intensely cognitive exercise. You are using your brain to analyze your brain.
It's a lot of mental heavy lifting.
It is. For someone who is a chronic overthinker, asking them to write about their thoughts might just trap them deeper in the labyrinth of their own head. If the mind is already a hostile environment, asking it to soothe itself feels like a paradox.
It is a very real limitation. The mind can absolutely hijack the reflection process and turn mindfulness into just another high-pressure task to perfect.
Right, like, am I relaxing good enough?
Exactly. You end up rushing through your relaxation practice.
Which is why the guide's next move is brilliant. It abandons the mind entirely and pivots to the body. Because the mind and the body are inextricably linked, the text introduces a physical escape hatch for when you were trapped in your own head. This is the second practice. Slow breathing synchronization.
This is where the guide transitions from mental awareness into raw physiological regulation. We are bypassing the analytical brain and speaking directly to the nervous system.
The setup for this is very deliberate. You have to find a quiet road, a garden, or even a long hallway, somewhere you can walk uninterrupted. No phone in your hand, no music in your ears.
Just you.
Just you. You walk slowly, letting your arms move naturally. Step 1 is simply noticing your natural rhythm for 1 minute before attempting to change it. You observe your breathing speed and your walking pace. And the text asks you to pose one crucial diagnostic question. Am I walking from presence or pressure?
The physical mechanics of how we walk often betray our mental state. Most people walk with their weight pitched forward, literally leaning into the future, mentally rushing somewhere else.
Oh, guilty as charged.
Right. Their body is on the sidewalk, but their mind is already at the office. Asking if you are walking from pressure forces you to realize that you are physically hurrying even when you have nowhere to be.
Here's where it gets really interesting. I look at this practice like a metronome. Imagine a chaotic musician who keeps rushing the tempo and losing the rhythm.
You can't just yell at them to play better.
No, you turn on a metronome to force them back onto the beat. By syncing your footsteps and your breath, you are creating a physical metronome that forces a chaotic mind back into the present moment. The guide lays out a specific beginner rhythm. You inhale for 3 steps. Step, step, step. And then you exhale for 3 steps. Step, step, step.
The mechanism behind why this works is entirely biological. As the text states, this is not exercise. You are not trying to elevate your heart rate or burn calories.
No power walking.
No power walking. It is mindful regulation. By bringing the breath and the physical movement into a predictable, steady harmony, you are sending a direct signal through the vagus nerve to your nervous system that you are safe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it tells the body there's no predator chasing you. You don't need the adrenaline. The body literally shifts its chemistry, which causes the mental noise to slow down naturally without you having to think your way out of it.
But let's be realistic about what happens when you try this. I step out my front door, I start doing my 3 steps in, 3 steps out, and my brain instantly rebels. Within 30 seconds, I am mentally drafting a grocery list, or I'm replaying an argument I had with a coworker 3 years ago.
Of course. That's what brains do.
What happens when the metronome isn't loud enough to drown out the noise?
Well, the guide completely expects the brain to rebel. Its instruction for distraction is vital. It says, if thoughts appear, do not fight them. Simply return to breath. Step, breath, step.
Should have come back to the rhythm.
Exactly. The mechanism here is gentle redirection. If you get angry at yourself for thinking about groceries, you have just reintroduced pressure and urgency. You simply notice the thought, drop it, and put your attention back on the physical sensation of your foot hitting the pavement.
It's the physical equivalent of the journaling practice. You aren't fixing the grocery list thought. You are just observing it and returning to the rhythm.
You got it.
And once you find that steadiness, the text offers an advanced variation for when you're ready to deepen that internal pace. You shift to a rhythm of inhaling for 4 steps, holding the breath for 2 steps, and exhaling for 4 steps. But there's a massive caveat here. It emphasizes to only do this if it feels comfortable. You never strain for the breath.
Because straining to hold your breath triggers the exact panic response we are trying to dismantle. The goal is always a softer, quieter internal landscape, not achieving a high score in breathing.
So let's look at the full picture here. We've done the mental excavation with the journaling. We've faced the uncomfortable reality of what the silence reveals and asked what silently exhausts us.
Check.
Then when our brains got too loud, we used the physical escape hatch. We regulated our nervous system with the synchronized walking, using the metronome of our body to quiet the mind. Where do we go from here? How do these isolated practices actually integrate into a busy Tuesday afternoon?
Integration is the true test of the text philosophy. It's about bridging the gap between a 15-minute practice and your everyday reality.
The text offers some awareness additions to help build that bridge. During the walk, it suggests shifting your focus to the sensory reality around you, the physical feeling of your heels striking the ground and rolling to the toe.
Just grounding yourself.
Yeah, the temperature of the air on your skin, the way the light filters through the trees, and then there are post-walk reflection questions to cement the experience. Like, did my mind resist slowing down? What emotions surfaced when I became quiet? And my favorite, what pace does my body naturally want?
That last question highlights the core conflict the text has been addressing all along. We spend our lives forcing our bodies to match the frantic pace of our minds. Asking what pace the body naturally wants is an act of profound self-compassion.
It really is.
It forces you to acknowledge that your physical vessel might crave a completely different rhythm than the one your anxiety has been dictating.
Which brings me to what I think is the most powerful quote in the entire text. It says, "Sometimes healing begins not with dramatic change, but with learning how to breathe slowly enough to finally arrive where your body already is."
That is beautiful.
Right. So what does this actually mean for you, the listener? If your environment is chaotic, does this mean you have to quit your job, throw away your smartphone, and, move to an isolated cabin in the woods to find peace?
This raises an important question about how we view stress relief in modern society. We frequently operate under the illusion that peace requires a total external overhaul. But the text confirms that we don't need a new life. We need a new quality of attention. It's asking for a shift from autopilot to awareness.
It's recognizing that the external world might be moving fast, but your internal engine doesn't have to redline to match it.
Synthesizing the core takeaways from both the mental and physical practices, the overarching message is clear. We must consciously prioritize rhythm over urgency. The ultimate realization of this guide is that the feeling of rushing isn't actually about time.
It's not about the calendar.
No, time is just the convenient excuse we use. The rushing is entirely about avoiding ourselves. These practices, sitting in the terrifying stillness to ask what we are running from, and using the physical rhythm of our steps to signal safety to our nervous system, they are the map back to the self.
They're the map back to the person who got buried under a mountain of performative busyness. I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over today, building purely on that text's concept of arriving where your body already